The evening sky outside Seoul had already started turning dark blue when you finally stepped out of the taxi near Seoul with a small smile resting on your lips for the first time in many days. The cold evening breeze brushed softly against your face while the lights from the nearby buildings reflected beautifully on the wet roads after the afternoon drizzle. Your heartbeat felt unusually lighter today. Ever since discovering that Jungkook was alive, every painful day no longer felt completely hopeless. Even though danger still surrounded you, even though Eugene still stayed inside your life like a terrifying shadow, moments like this visiting Jungkook became the only thing keeping your heart alive. Your fingers tightened around the strap of your bag while you walked quickly through the apartment corridor towards Yoongi's apartment. A soft smile unconsciously appeared on your face while remembering how desperately Jungkook wanted to see you yesterday. You even remembered his sleepy voice asking when you would visit again. Just the thought of him waiting for you made your exhausted heart feel warm again. But the moment you reached near the apartment door, your footsteps slowly stopped. Your brows furrowed slightly after hearing muffled voices coming from inside the apartment. At first, you couldn't hear properly, but after a few seconds, Yoongi's serious voice became slightly clearer through the door. We need to tell her eventually, Yoongi said firmly from inside. Immediately after that, Jungkook's voice came hurriedly, sounding tense and emotional. No, we can't, he said quickly. If she finds out now, she will get hurt even more. Your confusion instantly increased. Your fingers slowly tightened around your bag while you stood frozen outside the door. Hurt? Tell you what? Your heart suddenly started beating a little faster. Before you could think further, Yoongi's voice came again, calmer this time. Jungkook, hiding this forever isn't possible. Then silence followed for a few seconds before Jungkook spoke again in a tired voice. Please, not now. You blinked in confusion while looking towards the closed door. Something about their voice felt strange and heavy. But before suspicion could grow further inside your mind, you finally pressed the doorbell softly. Inside the apartment, the sudden sound of the bell immediately stopped the conversation. Complete silence filled the place for a few seconds before hurried footsteps approached the door. The door opened quickly, revealing Min Young standing there. For a split second, his expression looked serious, but the moment he saw you, he immediately forced a small calm smile onto his face. You came, Yoongi said softly while stepping aside and allowing you inside. You looked at him carefully for now few seconds as if trying to read his expression. But before you could ask anything, another pair of footsteps approached rapidly. The moment Jungkook saw you standing there, his tired eyes instantly softened with relief and happiness. You are finally here, Jungkook whispered emotionally while walking straight towards you. Before you could even respond properly, he pulled you into a tight hug against his chest. You immediately wrapped your arms around him to wheel while closing your eyes tightly. His warmth still felt unreal after believing in someone else for years. Jungkook buried his face slightly near your shoulder while exhaling shakily as if simply holding you made his entire day better. I missed you, he murmured quietly against your hair. You smiled softly and hugged him tighter while whispering back. I missed you more. After a few long moments, Jungkook finally pulled away slowly, though one of his hands still stayed wrapped protectively around yours. He carefully guided you towards the couch while Yoongi silently sat down in the chair opposite both of you. The atmosphere inside the room suddenly felt slightly awkward again. You immediately noticed the exchange glance between Jungkook and Yoongi. That alone reminded you about what you heard outside the door a few minutes ago. Your brows furrowed slightly while looking between both men. What were you both talking about before I came? You asked carefully while sitting down beside Jungkook. Jungkook's shoulder visibly stiffened beside you. Yoongi quietly leaned back against the chair while crossing his arms, but neither answered immediately. Jungkook forced a small smile and quickly replied, nothing important, but you narrowed your eyes suspiciously. Then why did it sound serious? You asked again while looking directly at Jungkook this time. Jungkook avoided your eyes for a second before chuckling awkwardly. You are overthinking again, he said softly while squeezing your hands gently. But your suspicion still remained. After a few seconds of silence, you finally remembered the file and immediately looked towards Yoongi. What about the papers? You asked seriously. Did you find anything? The moment those words left your mind, Yoongi whistled before slightly. He slowly looked towards Jungkook, who immediately stared back at him, almost pleading through his eyes silently not to reveal the truth. Yoongi noticed it clearly. Jungkook's expression looked desperate. He genuinely didn't want you dragged deeper into the horrifying truth yet. Yoongi exhaled quietly before finally looking back at you with a calm face. I checked everything carefully, Yoongi said slowly while leaning slightly forward, and I was wrong. You blinked in confusion. Wrong? You repeated quietly. Yoongi nodded immediately. Those papers were mostly hidden property transfers connected to your assets. He explained smoothly while keeping his voice calm. Nothing dangerous. Jungkook instantly lowered his head slightly in relief beside you after hearing Yoongi continue the lie naturally. Yoongi calmly added, Yoonjin probably wanted you to sign them to gain control over those hidden properties. Your expression instantly darkened with anger. What? You said sharply while straightening up. Those properties are mine. I built everything with years of hard work. Yoongi nodded understandingly while opening a folder beside him. Exactly why we prepared this, he said calmly while pulling out another stack of papers and placing them on the table in front of you. You looked down in surprise because the documents looked exactly identical to the originals. Every signature, seal, and page looked real. These are copies, Yoongi explained carefully while tapping the papers slightly. Fake versions. Your eyes widened slightly. You make fake papers? He asked quietly. Yoongi smirked faintly. I have dealt with dangerous businessmen longer than you think, he replied calmly. If Yunjin forces you to sign again, sign these instead. You looked uncertain while holding the papers carefully. But what if he finds out? You asked nervously. Jungkook immediately held your hand gently and said softly, he won't. His voice sounded calm, but deep inside guilt already started eating him alive for hiding the real truth from you. Trust us, he whispered while rubbing circles against your knuckles comfortingly. After thinking for a few moments, you finally nodded slowly. Okay, you murmured quietly while holding the fake documents against your chest. The atmosphere finally became little lighter after that. Wanting to ease the strained tension completely, you suddenly stood up from the couch with a small smile. I'll make coffee. You announced softly while looking between both men. Jungkook immediately looked up at you. You don't have to, he said quickly, but you shook your head stubbornly. I want to, he replied gently while walking backward a few steps towards the kitchen. Besides, both of you look like you haven't slept properly in days. Yoongi snorted quietly while Jungkook awkwardly rubbed the back of his neck. That's because somebody here keeps overworking, Jungkook muttered while glaring slightly at Yoongi. Yoongi rolled his eyes instantly. And somebody here keeps staring at the door every 5 minutes waiting for you. He shot back immediately. Jungkook's ear instantly turned slightly red while you laughed softly for the first time that evening. You both sound like children. You teased slightly while finally disappearing towards the kitchen with the papers still in your hands. The moment you entered the kitchen and the footsteps faded away, the smiles instantly disappeared. From both Jungkook and Yoongi's face, silence filled the living room heavily once again. Jungkook slowly lowered his head into his hands while exhaling shakily. Yoongi looked towards him quietly for a few seconds before speaking in a low, serious tone. You know we can't hide this forever. Jungkook clenched his jaw painfully while staring towards the kitchen entrance where you disappeared moments ago. I know, he whispered weakly, but look at her. His voice cracked slightly. She's finally smiling again after years. Yoongi's expression softened slightly, but remained serious. And when she finds out the truth later, he asked quietly. Jungkook closed his eyes painfully. Then she will hate me for lying. he murmured, but at least she will stay safe little longer. From the kitchen, the soft sound of cups clinking echoed gently through the apartment, while Wonder Man spoke another word, both already knowing that the truth hidden inside those papers would eventually destroy far more lives than they expected.